IPv6 routing. Now the most widely accepted IPv6 interior gateway protocol IGP routing protocols are RIP-NG. RIP-NG, RIP is what routing information protocol we use in IPv4. NG, this is what for IPv6. It is the RIP version of IPv6. NG means next generation. OSPF version 3 and IPv6 EIGRP. RIP-NG means RIP next generation and is a version with the IPv6 support. The matrix of RIP-NG is still hop count and the hop limit is 15 hops. It is same as IPv4. It also has the same hop count as a matrix and also it has a 15 hops limit. Then we have OSPF version 3. This is for IPv6 and is also a link state routing protocol. Metric of OSPF version 3 is cost as previous OSPF. So basically these routing protocols are same as the previous version, only that it supports the IPv6. Now EIGRP, we don't have a new version because EIGRP itself is a new version and it does support the IPv6. The one which supports the IPv4 also, the same supports IPv6 also. Now how we can configure the routing? So first we have to configure IPv6 addresses on all the interfaces of the router. And when you are having IPv6 environment, when you are having IPv6 configured on everywhere, you can do routing also. We can do static routing, we can do dynamic routing, we can do routing by using the RIP-NG, we can do OSPF, we can use EIGRP. Now first we'll see static routing. Now again, static routing, it is same as we do in the IPv4. The same way, the method, the syntax is same. The command is IPv6 instead of IP, and then the root command is same root. Then you will mention the IPv6 prefix with the prefix length, that means like IPv4 network address, and then you will mention the administrative distance and then next hop address, same as the IPv4. Now doing IPv6 routing, we have to do one extra thing here. That is, you have to make sure to enable the IPv6 unicast routing by using the Cisco IOS command from the global configuration mode, and that is IPv6 unicast routing. We have to do first enable the IPv6 routing by using this command. So after using this command, we can use static routing, we can configure dynamic routing. But before that, we have to make sure that we enable the IPv6 routing by using IPv6 unicast routing command. And after that, we can use this IPv6 routing instead. We can use static or dynamic, whatever. Let's see the static first. Now in this network, what I have done, I have configured these IP addresses on these router, on these interfaces of the router. Now what I did here, I use simple IP addresses. In these IP addresses, if we see, remember the first 64-bit is always the network part and the rest of the 64-bit is for the host part. So if I go like this, 2001 colon then 000, or let me minimize it, 0 colon 0 colon 0 colon 0 colon, how much is this, 1 2 3 4 5, and again 0 6 7 and 8. So in this, what I have here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is IPv6 address. Now what I am doing here, I am using first 64-bit as a network, the rest of the 64 bit as a host. So what I am using here for this interface of fast Ethernet is 2001 colon 1, then colon 1. Now what that means, if I have shortened the address, but if I maximize the address, so it will be like this: colon 1, then colon 0, colon 0, colon 0, colon 0, colon, how much is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1. It will be like this. Now in this, if you can see, the first 64 bit is the network part, and this one 2001 colon 1 is the network. You can see 2001 colon 1 is the network, and then rest of the bits are 0. So I used what? 2 colon here. For these all zeros I use 2 colon, and this is the first IP address. First, after this 64 bit, first 64 bit, which is 2001 colon 1 colon 0 colon 0, this is the first 64 bit, and the rest of the 64 bit is for the host. So the rest of the 64 bit is what? Colon 0 colon 0 and 1. This is the first address of this network. Now what is that network? The network is this 2001 colon 1. This is the network part. Then for the other networks, if you can see, other network is 2001 colon 2. This is 1 for this the network, 2 colon 1, 2 colon 2. This is the first IP, this is the second IP here. So both these IPs are in same network. The IP which is assigned on this interface of router 1 serial interface and the router 2 serial interface, they are in same network. Then here we have different network, 2001 colon 3. This is the different network, and this is the first IP of that network, colon 1. Then here I have used the different network, 2001 colon 4, and colon 1 is the first IP, then colon 2 is the second IP. So this is what first IP and second IP of this 2001 colon 4 network. So these two IPs which is assigned on router 2 and 3 serial interfaces are the same network. Then I use the different network IP on this fast Ethernet port, which is 2001 colon 5. Then colon 1 is the first IP of that network. So basically these are different networks. So what is the network IP here? It is 2000 colon 1, 2001 colon 2, 2001 colon 2, 2001 colon 3, 2001 colon 4, 2001 colon 4, 2001 colon 5 is the network IPs. And then the last last number is the host part. So this is 1, this is 2, that is 3. Okay, so what I did, I used these different network IPs of this different network of class IPv6. Now on the host machines, I will use the same network IP, like this is 2001 colon 1. So this is the one IP for this fast Ethernet port. So I will use 2 here, 3 here, then same as 2 and 3 here, 2 and 3 here for the network 3, network 5. So there will be different networks here. Now after configuring all these IPs, we can enable the routing. So now on these host machines, I have used the same subnet IP here. This is 2001 colon 1. This is also 2001 colon 1. 1 is here, first IP, then second and third, same as on these other machines. Now we'll try to connect, we'll try to see they are connected or not. We'll go to machine and go to command prompt and what we'll do use ping. So we will use ping. Two 2001:1:3. I'm getting the reply. I'm pinging from this machine to this machine. Now if I try to ping from this machine to these other networks, it will not allow, it will not ping. Suppose 3::2. That means I'm trying to ping from this machine to this machine. And it will say that destination host unreachable because our router don't know anything about it. Timeout. It can't ping because we have not configured the routing. So we have to configure the routing so that they can do communication to each other. So first, to do the static routing, I will go to this router 1. I will show IPv6 route to check the routing table. So right now it is only showing the connected network. C for the connected network, L for the local network. So connected network is the local network, and it is showing that it has a local network connected to fast Ethernet port and connected network to serial interface. Then it also shows the link local address also, because it also has a link local address automatically assigned to this interface, LAN interface. Now we have not done any other routing. So for doing the static routing, what we will do, we will go to the configure terminal. Just like we do IPv4 routing, we will give command IPv4 route, and then we will mention the network and what destination network. Here I will do what? IPv6. So instead of giving IPv4 routing, we will give command IPv6 route. Now before this, what we have to do is to enable the routing. We have to enable IPv6 routing, and for that we have to run a command. Which command? We have to run IPv6 in a global configuration mode, unicast routing. This command will do what? It will enable the routing. You can check this command is for doing what? Enable unicast routing. So IPv6 unicast routing, and I will press enter. Now after this I can do configure the static or dynamic, whatever routing I want. So IPv6, then I will mention the route. Then when you give question mark, it says mention the IPv6 prefix. IPv6 prefix, that means the network address with the /64-bit or whatever. So the network which it does not know, we have to mention those networks which is not directly connected to this router. In static routing, we do what? We mention all the networks which is not connected to that particular router. So in this router 1, we have connected network as these 2001:1, 2001:2. These two networks are connected, rest of the networks are not connected. So what we'll do, we will mention those rest of the networks like this 2001:3, 2001:4, 2001:5. So what we'll do here, we will mention 2001:3 slash 64. I'm mentioning the first network which is not connected. Then we'll mention the first hop address, the IPv6 address of the next hop, or even we can mention the exit interface also. We can do mention the exit interface, or we can mention the next hop address. Both we can do like same as IPv4 routing. So I will mention the next hop address. Now what will be the next hop address for this? So it will be, to go to this network, we can go from here, from this serial interface to here on router 2, and the first address will be 2001:2:2. So this will be the next hop address. So IPv6 root, this is the not connected network, and this is what the first hop address. So when you give a first hop address, it's a particular address, you don't have to give /64. And after that, you can give administrative distance value, AD value. Default is 1 for static root, but you can change values so that you can have a backup route also. If you are having multiple path, then you can choose a backup path and give a different AD value to it. But right now I have a single path, so I'll go with this, and I have entered this network. Now we don't have other we have other networks also connected, and we have to mention those all networks also. That is the drawback of this static routing, that we have to mention all the networks one by one. So this is what 2001:3, we have 2001:4 and 2001:5 also. So I will mention those networks also. IPv6 root 2001:4 : and the first hop address is always be this one, because they are going and they will go from the same path. So as we see, for this 3 we can go from here, and this will be the first hop address, and for 4 this is the same first hop address, and for 5 also this will be the same first hop address. One more is remaining, and that is what? Network 2001:5. Okay, no other network is there, so I don't have to give any other network. I will give now show IPv6 root to check the routing table, and now we are having this static routes also. Now this one is done. Now we can go for other router. So the next router is router 2. Show IPv6 root, and it only knows the connected networks. So now what, I will go to working mode, and first I will enable IPv6 unicast routing, then IPv6 root, and then I will mention not connected network. Now first it is connected this 2001:2, 2001:3, 2001:5. It is not connected to 2001:1 and 2001:5. These are networks which is not directly connected to this router 2. So first I will mention 2001:1:/64 network. And to go to this network, it can go from this interface, this IP address, which is the first hop address. So that is 2001 colon 2 colon 1. Then the next network is 2001 colon 5 colon /64. This is the next address which is on this side, and to go to this network from router 2, we can go from this first hop address. So the first hop address for it will be colon 4 colon 2. Done. No other network required here. So I can go show IP root. No, not IP root, IPv6 root. So now it has also static root. Now I will go to router 3 and configure the static routing. Now this router also connected only, showing only connected network, which is 2, that is 2001 colon 4 and 2001 colon 5. These two networks are only connected and all the rest of the networks are not connected. That is 2001 colon 3, 2001 colon 2, 2001 colon 1. So I will mention one by one each. So I will go to config mode, and first I will do IPv6 unicast routing to enable the IPv6 routing. Then IPv6 root 2001 colon 3 colon /64, and the first hop address will be 2001 colon 4 colon 1. Always this one will be the first hop address for this network, and this network. This is 3, then 2, then 1. So first hop address is same for all these other routes. Now show IPv6 root, and now it knows other networks by using static root. And you can see the AD value always be 1 because it is the default one. Now after we have done the routing, we can now check that these machines can do communication or not. So previously when I tried to ping from this machine to this machine, it was not pinging. Now I will try again. And now you can see it is now giving reply. So it is pinging from this machine to this machine to this machine, and I can ping to this machine also, this IP also, and it is also giving reply. So this machine can ping here in this network, and then I can try to ping this network also. Which is 5 colon 2 and 3, and I am getting the reply. Now why I am getting the reply? Because now our router knows that where is these networks and how to reach there. Now this is what is static routing. Now we can do the dynamic routing also. Now for doing the static dynamic routing, first we have to remove this static routing. So I will remove this static routing first. Now static routing problem is you just like you have applied the routing, one by one. You create the root, you have to remove the root also one by one. So removing is also difficult. So just like I assign these networks one by one, I have to give no before all these networks, like this. Then this one. And this one also. So now I have removed the static routing from router 3. Only connected network. Then I have to do it on router 2 also. So here I mentioned these two networks, 1 and 5. So before that I will mention no and remove. IPv6, and now it is only showing connected on router 1 also. And now it is also showing the connected networks. So we have applied the static routing, and now we have removed the static routing. Now again, if I try to ping, then it will not give me any reply, because now routers don't have any network. So now if I try to ping any machine, it says destination host unreachable. It is giving destination host unreachable because now our router don't know about other networks. So this is what is static routing. This is static routing for IPv6. Now, if you want to do dynamic routing, so first we have RIP next generation. This RIP, that is routing information protocol, is the first routing protocol for IP. And because of the technical problems, new RIP known as RIP version 2 was developed. But when IPv6 protocol came up, again in a new version of RIP was required to support IPv6. And this new version of RIP is known as RIP new generation, or RIP NG. RIP NG is the new routing protocol for IPv6, and it is based on RIP version 2. So RIP NG is an entirely different protocol and does not support IPv4. And RIP NG uses the same timers and messages types as RIP version 2. RIP NG has 30 seconds update timer and a 180-second hold down timer. The matrix value of RIP NG is also based on hop count, and RIP NG sends and receives the routing protocol messages at UDP port 521. And the multicast IPv6 address used by RIP NG is FF02::9. So basically how it works same as RIP version 2, but only the difference is now it uses the IPv6. It uses IPv6 routing. It is not able to use IPv4. It is not for IPv4. Now in RIP NG, the configuration is entirely different. Now here the configurations are different. When we go for the dynamic routing, the configurations are different than the normal configurations of dynamic routing protocol. Now to declare the RIP NG process name, we use IPv6 routing RIP and then process name. So when we enable the routing, we want to enable the routing, then we have to do it by mentioning the name for the process. then Cisco IOS command from the global configuration mode, and then after enabling this, after mentioning the name, ripng uses the interface configuration mode command, which is rip IPv4 IPv6 rip process name and enable to add an interface to a ripng process. So what we do here, first IPv6 unicast routing has to be given. It is to enable the IPv6 unicast routing. After that, just like we did it in the static routing, we have to do it here if you are using it for dynamic also. Now once we have done it, we have mentioned the command, then again I don't have to mention. But if you are doing directly rip, then you have to mention it first. Now what we do here, IPv6 router rip, the commands are almost identical to the for the IPv4, like same it is, but it is a different here that you have to mention the process name. And then in IPv4 rip, what we did in a normal rip, we directly mention the network here, but here you don't have to mention the network. You will exit it from here, and then you will go to the interface, which interface you want to add into the rip ng, and there you will mention the IPv6 rip command with the process name, and you will say enable. So the difference is like instead of mentioning the network, introducing the network, we actually enable the interface, enable the process on interfaces of those which we want to use for rip ng. And the same command to verify is show IPv6 root. So let's do this rip ng on our design. We have removed the static routing. Now we will use this one. So here I have removed the IPv static routing. Now what I will do, I will use rip ng. So as you see, it is right now only showing the connected network. So I will go to config mode, and first command you have to give is IPv6 unicast routing. Now that I have already given when I was doing static routing, so again I don't have to give. But for the dynamic routing, if you are doing directly, you have to give this command. Now I will mention IPv6 router. Now in normally for IPv4 we give router command is router and then routing protocol name. But for IPv6 routing, dynamic routing, we mention IPv6, then mention the router command, and then when you give question mark, it says that what routing protocols you can use. You can use RIP, you can use OSPF, you can use EIGRP. So what we want to use? We want to use RIP. Now RIP means RIP ng. It is for v6. So I mentioned RIP. Now the normal IPv4 RIP command is like router RIP, and then you press enter. But here it is saying not incomplete command. Why? Because you have to mention the process name. So let us say I will mention here like site 1. Now after this, you don't have to do anything. In normal RIP for IPv4, what we do here, we mention the connected network here. Connected network, and then it will do routing for those networks. But instead of doing that connected network, what we'll do here in RIP ng, we will introduce the interfaces itself. Which interface we want to enable this RIP. If you put question mark here, then you have option to to remove the configuration is for the, you can use no to remove the configuration, exit from this interface, this mode, and you can also set the distance value, AD value. Or if you like, then you can do the redistribution also with the other protocols. So I will do exit from here because I don't have to mention the network here. Then I will go to the interface. First I am going to fast Ethernet port, which I want to introduce in this routing protocol. Then I will mention IPv6, and you can see here it says RIP. Then you have to mention the name of your process, and that is what SCI1, and then you will say enable or disable. So I want to enable. Now it is introduced on this interface. Then other interface of this router is this serial interface, serial 0/0/0. So I will go to that interface and enable IPv6 route. Done. So this is what RIP configuration. I did it on router 1, so I will do it on router 2 and 3 also. Same. IPv6 unicast routing. Then IPv6 router RIP process name. Exit from here, go to interface and enable the routing. This is one interface. This is the other interface. Then on this interface also. Now I will do it on router 3. Unicast routing, IPv6 router RIP process name, and exit from here. Then go to interface. Which interface is this? This is serial interface 0/0/0. And then we have interface faster than 0/0 and enable. So this is what we enable the IPv6 RIP, which is RIP-NG. Detect show IPv6 route. Now here we can see now these networks are coming from R. That means RIP. And if you can see here what it is saying here, that this network I can go, this is KD value is the same 120, matrix is 3 hops, and I can go via this IP. Now what this IP is the link local address. So basically it uses the link local address for the next hop. Now when you check is it working or not, we can try to ping it. So now it can ping because previously it was not pinging. So now it can ping any of these IPs because now they are connected. Now to remove this RIP, it is a dynamic, so it is very easy. Just like we assign it, we can remove it. We can just put the no command before the routing. So very simple. So first we have enabled it on these interfaces. So if we want to remove it from those interfaces, then we have to give no command on those interfaces. Like I will go to this fast Ethernet and then I use this command to enable it. So I will put what no before the command and it will remove it from there. Then I use this CDL interface, I enable it, and I want to remove it, I can just give no and it will also remove. Or I can give directly this command, no IPv6 router RIP and the process name, and this will remove the RIP. On router 2 I will say no IPv6 router RIP and process name. Now if I check those for run, so it is removed. Completely. Then on router 1 also I will remove. And now only connected network is shown. And again if we try to ping those machines, now it is again the same destination host with unreachable, because again I removed the routing. So this is what configuration of RIP for IPv6, and it is called RIP NG, that means RIP next generation. Now OSPF. So in OSPF version 3 the configuration is entirely different, and to declare an OSPF version 3 process ID and to start the OSPF process, we use command IPv6 router OSPF process ID. Now Cisco IOS command from the global configuration mode, and then OSPF version 3 router ID is still a 32-bit binary number. So it is important to configure an OSPF version 3 router ID manually. So use the router ID command with the router ID command to configure the OSPF version 3 router ID. And OSPF version 3 uses the interface configuration mode command, this IPv6 OSPF process ID area number command to add an interface to an OSPF version 3. Now what is different here is that first the router ID which uses for the election to select the DR and BDR is a still 32-bit version, and we have to manually configure that router ID. So if you don't configure this router ID, then OSPF process will not work properly. So the command is same again, IPv6 unicast routing, just like the IPv6 RIP. Then we will mention IPv6 router OSPF, then process ID here, and then we should mention what router ID. Router ID we have to configure it manually. Then we will exit from here, and then we will go to the interface which we want to enable the OSPF. So go to the interface, then there you will give command IPv6 OSPF, then you will mention the process ID which we have mentioned here, and also we have to mention the area here. So let's see how we'll do this one. So on the same network I have removed the RIP. Now I can do what? OSPF. So again same, I'll go to router 1, there is only connected network it knows now. So I will go to config mode, IPv6 unicast routing to enable the routing, then IPv6 router OSPF, and this time I will give process ID. Let's say I am giving 10. Now as soon as we press enter here, it says here that OSPF version 3 process 10 could not pick a router ID. Please configure manually. Remember, it is not able to get the router ID automatically like in IPv4. So we have to mention it manually. So in the same mode, I will give command router ID, and then you will mention the router ID here. Because we are using IPv6 on all these interfaces, you can see, so it is not able to get the 32-bit IPv4 address. IPv4 address was 32-bit, but these addresses are 128-bit. So it is still using the IPv4 type 32-bit address for the router ID. So it will not get this one. So we have to mention the router ID manually. And that means what? We have to mention it like IPv4. Like I am saying 10.0.0.1. Now after this, I will exit from here and I will go to interface which I want to add into this process. Then IPv6, OSPF, process ID, and then area and area number. Now this is for the first Ethernet port. Then I will go to interface serial 0/0/0. Again I will mention IPv6, OSPF, process ID 10, and area is 0. This is done for router 1. Now I will go to router 2. Then again IPv6 unicast routing, IPv6 router OSPF, process ID 10. Again it says no router ID detected. So I will mention router ID as IPv4. Then exit from here. Now I'm going to interface serial 0/0/1. IPv6 OSPF, process ID 10, area 0. On this interface also same command. And then on the fast Ethernet port, same command. And you can see it is doing the adjacency and creating the neighbors and using that router ID which we have mentioned. This one is also done. Now I will go to router 3. And I will give command first IPv6 unicast routing, then IPv6 router OSPF, process ID 10, then router ID. You can give any whatever you like to give, like you want to decide which router should be the DR or BDR. So according to that you will give the router ID. Exit from here, interface serial 0/0/0. That is the interface we have here. And then again IPv6 OSPF, process ID 10, area 0. Then I will go for fast Ethernet port. And again same. Now this routing is also done. We can verify by giving command show IPv6 root, and we can see that it is showing that O as a OSP. You can use to see IPv6 protocols to check which protocol is using. Is connected, routing is static, OSPF 10, area is 0. These are the interfaces, and redistribution is 1. And now when you try to ping again, it was saying destination was unreachable. Now again it is pinging. So this is what configuring OSPF version 3 for IPv6. Now again, like we have assigned it, we can remove it, and removing and assigning also easier than static. So we can go just to the router, and we can go to the configuration mode, and we can say no IPv6 router OSPF process edit, and I don't want it, and it will remove. Now when you check show IP route, it is showing that only static connected network. I removed it from router 3. I can remove it from router 2 also. No IPv6 for router OSPF process ID. This one is also removed. Now only connected networks. And I can also remove from router 1. No. Only now it's showing connected network. So this is what OSPF we assigned for IPv6 OSPF version 3, and we removed it from the routers. So this is our routing for IPv6. We have did static routing, and for dynamic routing we have used RIP-NG, and also we have used OSPF. EIGRP is same like we do for the IPv4, only we have difference here, like we have to enable the routing protocol, and then we have to go to the interface and enable the interface for the routing.